Hello, good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mirit Falkowski, and I'm here representing the Dental Hygiene Program and to celebrate our monumental achievement of being the graduating class of 26. First, I'd like to acknowledge and thank the Sisters of St. Basil the Great for being the metaphorical sibling for those of us who have none. I'm so grateful for your support, devotion, and thank you for this immaculate reception. I'd like to thank President Jonathan Perry, the Manor College Board of Trustees, the administration, as well as the faculty and staff who worked tirelessly to get us to the finish line. I'd like to recognize my parents for dedicating their lives to public education, for giving me the love of both art and science, for showing me the world, supporting my second or 10th, if you've been counting careers, and for bribing me to learn how to read when I was 7 with a cat. Your strength and encouragement has never faltered. With the utmost appreciation and gratitude, thank you, and I love you. I'd like to thank my dentist and former dental hygienist at Dr. Fleischman's for their amazing practice, for encouraging me to do this, for specifically telling me to go to this program at this school. I trusted that advice in a world where I almost never take advice. Also, big cheers to all my friends who let me disappear during study time, showed up as patients, volunteered their spouses, children, and exes as needed. I'd like to take a moment to appreciate the hard work of Dr. Scorpio, Dr. Parker, Dr. Gladstone, Dr. Caldwell, Dr. Senecoff, Mrs. Cortez, Mrs. Hannon, Mrs. Kilgore, and all the instructors along the way. Big extra shout out to Lisa, who holds it down and goes above and beyond, above and beyond in emergency scheduling scenarios and gave us access to the candy drawer when we needed it most. Thank you all for putting up with me and not questioning my sanity, which has been frequently up for debate. My heart will always belong to my best friend Cameron, who I met on the second day of school before getting accepted into the dental hygiene program. The day we exchanged phone numbers was met with instant relief and feeling of, okay, we can do this. I made a friend, and intuition told me that we would get through it together. For all of us, though, this day used to be a hope and a dream. And this is a reminder that you can do hard things, even if you're not a morning person, and even if you have to plan a wedding during school. To Tamia, Natalia, Lucy, Alex, Jocelyn, Ava, Sophia, and Kelly, there were times of doubt, exhaustion, patient cancellations, extreme stress, and crippling confusion. But nothing compares to a good clinic day. How lucky are we to all be graduating together under the guidance and leadership from such a tremendous group of women. We did it. And for those of you who need to know, we all passed our clinic exam yesterday. Lastly, I'd like to share my gratitude for my husband, Corey, who has been a lighthouse through the storm. We really sometimes are just sailors on the moon. And for those of you whom I don't know, but have helped us get here, thank you endlessly for your support, love, encouragement, and presence. You can clock out, but please buy us one last pizza. My time at Manor has been an unexpectedly transformative experience, and I never imagined I'd go back to school. But if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. As one of the few Jewish students here, there was never any doubt that I belonged, but I can't say I fit in. While I'm not Catholic, my background in art history and working years at the Philadelphia Museum of Art has given me a fundamental respect for those with tradition and faith. Now I just pray that we are all flossing daily in addition to following museum visitation rules. My life, like most others, has been a series of choices, accidents, coincidences, and discoveries that I never could have predicted. And although I used to be at risk for fainting at the sight of blood, and dental hygiene can seem like everything is made up, the points do matter, and pushing yourself to do hard things just by showing up counts. My favorite book is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. There's a character named Lee who is not the main character, but the one who makes the biggest dent. He spends a lot of time pondering the Hebrew word timshel. It is, according to Lee, a mistranslation in the King James Bible in the story of Cain and Abel. It should have meant thou mayest, and not how it is written as thou shalt. Abel, one of the two sons in the epic tale, named by Lee after the biblical characters, suffers from anxiety like the rest of us. Abel fears that he is doomed to be evil in life due to the circumstances of his birth. However, Lee tells us that by definition, Tim shows the understanding that we have choices that we may overcome. We may overcome unknowable challenges that we will face. And through adversity and days that do not make sense, we may push through family dynamics. We may have the option to choose whom we want to be, and our morality is not commanded by an unknown force, but by ourselves. While I don't fully endorse free will, we've all been surviving on Uncrustables. To be human is to have a soul. And spoiler alert, Lee says, it is a lovely and unique thing in the universe. It is always attacked and never destroyed, because thou mayest. My version of this is conventional paths are overrated, and unless you're an anxious driver, take new roads. Though school can feel like a daily trial of your last will and testament, we all chose resilience. We have made it this far because we care. You are not defined by those you are related to, but by the ones you choose to be around. And remember that we really can do it. I hope we all take a moment today and reflect on this incredible achievement and be grateful that you won. You made it. You're right here. You're right where you're supposed to be. For those of you that already know your next step, congratulations on your hard-earned achievement. And for those of us who are still figuring it out and have several board exams to take, just trust the process. While I do not have the typical type A personality that dental hygiene usually attracts, and my idea of organizing is putting things into bowls, I've been asking myself in my teenage years of 34 years old, what do I want to be when I grow up? I want to be someone who fights for what is right, to build meaningful connections, advocate for health, appreciate art, and inspire change. I will always ask tall people to reach things for me, but that's because their view from the top has better visibility. I hope to be a personality hire and not complain about work until at least after lunch, but I also want to be someone who only works 3 days a week. This is a special time. We now have not only as graduates to grow into passionate adults, but to transform into responsible individuals who strive to make a difference and connect with the earth around us. So ask yourself, how will you make the world more beautiful? As it turns out, what happens under a microscope does matter. What you think about yourself and how you speak to yourself in the mirror matters. What you do with your life matters. My hope for the future of this graduating class is that we can do great things and go through life with purpose, perspective, resilience, and at least one funny friend. We survived, we thrived, we made it out alive, y'all. Mazel tov to everyone. Cheers to the class of 2026. Woo-hoo!